Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video explaining to homeowners that might be in the market for a generator and they're a little confused on what to get. I want to explain to you about the ways that you would power your house with your portable generator, okay? There is 3 ways. Number 1, say you have a 6,000 watt, 5,000 watt, 9,000 watt, 10,000 watt, whatever. Number 1, an extension cord, a regular extension cord that would look like that, okay? And you would plug it into your generator and then run the extension cord inside your house. You could get a splitter of 5 so that you could have 5 extension cords running all over the place. It's a mess, it's stupid. If you do it that way, I beg you to call me and let me install the plug, okay? And so let's go to the second option, which is the best option, in my opinion. It's the plug. So every generator that is sized like above 2,000 or 3,000 has a 30 amp and a 30 or a 50. Obviously the 50 amp are going to be for the bigger generators. I think it might start at 7,000 watts. And so what you would do is you buy the cord on Amazon, you type in 30 amp generator cord, 4-wire, which would be 120 volt or 240 volt, which would mean with 240 you could power the bigger appliances like the dryer, the stove, the water heater, and AC. Now, obviously, with a 30 amp, you're not going to be able to power any of those big appliances. Even with the 50 amp, if you watch my videos, those appliances, the dryer, the stove, the oven, you're not going to really be using because they're heating devices. Think about it. An oven creates heat. A stove creates heat. A dryer creates heat. The AC has a compressor motor. Motors are really hard to start with the little generators. And so that's why they take up a lot of power, okay? So you have a 30 amp. I fully always recommend the 13,000 watt Duramax dual fuel. It has the 50 amp plug, okay? So with the 50 amp plug, you would call me. I would go to your place. Most likely, your panel with all the circuit breakers is going to be in your garage. And what I would do is install that 50 amp plug right under your panel, and I would wire it into your panel. And so what that allows us to do is when you lose power, there's a process though. You can't just go lose power and start your generator up with it plugged in and turn the generator circuit breaker on. You have to do a couple of steps, okay? But anyways, I wire the 50 amp in, right? Or the 30 amp. We lose power, we do the steps, turning your main off so that you do not send generator power through the line over to the electrical lines in the streets. And so that when one of the linemen is trying to fix it from the storm, he's going to die because you're backfeeding it. It's called backfeeding. There's processes to prevent this, to be very safe. It's very simple. I always include with every customer a customized step-by-step instructional email that when I'm at your place and we go through the process, I see everything and I know how your house is set up, and I write you a customized instructions. Hey, the panel that is in your closet, the panel that is in your garage on the left, near the white car, I really dumb it down. Not saying that people are dumb, but when you don't do this every day and you're only doing this once a year, maybe not once every 5 years, you forget things, especially when there's like 5 or 6 little steps to do. Okay, so I install the 50 amp. Let's go with a 50. You've got your 13,000 Duramax. We have it hooked up. We went through the steps. We're safe to do so. We're safe to power the house with the Duramax, okay? So we're sending voltage. We're sending power to your house in the panel. And basically, you have every single circuit there you can have on. Now, obviously, you're not going to have on the range, the dryer, the AC, unless, it's sized correctly. You can run an AC with the 13,000 that I'm recommending, but all right, so we have the AC on, but we're not going to have the dryer, the water heater, the oven, the range. We'll barbecue if need be. And what's cool is, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's always, how there's always like 20 circuits, right? There's a ton of circuits. Like 7 or 8 of them, 9 of them are all lighting different areas of your house. They're for the lighting circuits, like up in the, like to see light bulbs. So you can literally have all of those on because lighting takes no power, basically. The fans in your room, you can have the circuits on for all of your fans. Now, that doesn't mean, when I say you're going to have the circuits on, that doesn't mean that the lights are always going to be on. It means that you have power to each room, to each room's lights, to each room's fan, to all of the outlets throughout the house, the internet plugs. And so it gives you complete control. Complete control. You can have everything on, which, like I said, doesn't mean it's all on. It means that you're able to use that whatever, and it will have power available. Okay? And so that is the best option. Now, third option. People choose this option because there's big words in it, and they hear about it on commercials with Generac standby systems, and so they think that it's the best thing, and that is a transfer switch. Now, let me explain something. The home standby generators that are mounted on the side of the house, they can't move, right? They're hooked up to propane or natural gas, the Generac ones. Until you get to a bigger size, you could get into diesel, but other than that, it's liquid propane or natural gas. So anyways, it's stuck on the side of the house. Those are bigger than the portables that we get on wheels. So they're 22 kW Generacs that are on the side of the house. They're strong enough to literally, when power is lost, a signal is sent to the Generac, it turns on, and then since it's strong enough, the transfer switch literally switches to generator to power the whole panel right instantly. The portables are not strong enough to get hit with that load. I don't know if you've noticed that there's 2 ratings. There's starting and running. Starting watts, running watts. Starting watts is when something turns on, like an AC, the motor, the hardest part for the generator to power that AC motor is at the beginning when it's first starting, when it first tries to spin the motor. When it's spinning, it's not hard to continuously keep that thing spinning. It's like inertia. It's like going from a complete stop and spinning to keep it going. That's the hard part. Once you get it spinning, not hard. And that's what starting and running watts are for. And you can find all that info out on an appliance, a motor, or any of that on the nameplate, which is located on the unit, whatever. You're not going to get that deep into it. But anyway, so that is a complete transfer switch. Now, people hear that and they hear, portable transfer switches. Oh, I want that. I want a transfer switch for my portable. But since, like I said, the portable generators aren't strong enough to take that hit to transfer the whole panel onto it at one time, that means the transfer switch for the portables is different. And what it is, if you have any knowledge of electrical, it's basically a sub panel. And so if you went this route, what happens is the electrician is going to say, what are the most important circuits that you want on your generator, your portable generator? You're going to say, my refrigerator, a freezer, some outlets. If you're big enough for an AC, you're going to say, I want the AC. I want a couple of lights. Okay. Well, you only have 8 circuits because Now think about this. This is why I never recommend this. He's going to say, all right, well, what kind of transfer switch do you want? Do you want a 4 circuit, a 6, an 8, a 10, a 12, a 16? When you get up into the 16 circuit spaces, they're like $1,500 to $2,000. And it's, if you can put this together, what I'm explaining, you're going to be like, wow, you're right. Okay. You get a 16, or let's say you get an 8-circuit transfer switch for your portable generator. You're gonna customize it to with what you want on the generator, right? Like I said, freezers, fridges, some lights, some fans. Okay, well you only have 8 spots. You're out of space now. Okay, so only those 8 circuits are powered by the generator. Now, I guarantee you, if you had all of those on and you went and measured the power available at your portable, you'd have a lot of extra power. And that's where it's a waste. You basically, if you do the plug, it's the same as the transfer switch, except you have the whole circuit. Instead of 8 circuits, 6 circuits, 10 to control, you've got all of your circuits. And it's the same thing because you're turning them on and off and you're good to go. So don't let that fool you. You do not get a transfer switch on a portable. Only a standby unit, 22 kW or larger, give or take, is when you would get the whole house transfer switch. Anytime you gotta only have a certain amount of circuits, it's not worth it. Get the plug and you can control everything. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, give me a call or email me. But so that's the thing. You definitely don't want to do the plug, the little extension cord, like a regular outlet plug, because you're going to have extension cords all throughout the house. It's just not beneficial, really. Your best bet is to pay the money to get the 30 amp or the 50 amp plug and outlet installed at your panel. Get the cord, the 30 amp or 50 amp cord, and have that plugged in so that you have complete control of what you want on in the house. You will have power available to every outlet in the house. Every light in your house will be able to be turned on. Every fan, all of the fridges. Now, you can't do that with the transfer switch because you only have 8, 10 circuits. A whole panel, usually on a regular sized house, is going to have like 24 circuits. If you bought a 24 circuit transfer switch, you're spending $3,000 more, maybe 3 or more grand, to do what? It's not automatic. There's not a single difference between the transfer switch where you're flipping breakers and only having a certain amount, and your panel flipping breakers and having the whole amount to control. Give me any questions, let me know. But that is my recommendation. If you're looking at getting a generator, go that route. All right. Have a good night, guys.